Hey guys, Zach, aka the Treasure Troll, back for another Sunday confessional. Did some DibDit shows this week. I did one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. They're both vintage Rolling Stones magazines. Did pretty well actually. Cleared them out of my death pile. They're gone. They're good. I paid $25 for all of them, and I did a show when I first bought them. Did a pop up. Did about $50 worth of sales there, and then after fees and shipping, we brought home $202. So, 225 into 250, that's 10 times my money. Took me a couple of months. I probably shouldn't have let them sit around, but I was thinking about putting them on eBay, and they just kind of sat there until I finally said, you know what, let's just DibDit them, get them out of here. So, $202 from DibDit. Not bad. That's after, like I said, after fees, after shipping. eBay, we sold quite a few things this week. Number one, we sold a Black Clover hat. This is a really great brand, so if you find Black Clover, look them up. It's an awesome hat. I sold the Guns N' Roses sealed cassette fairly quickly, actually. I think that sold within 2 hours of listing for full asking price. I sold a Panasonic Blue Line VCR. I could have got more for this if I wanted to go through all the hassle of testing it and deep cleaning it and doing all that. But I've had a lot of issues with VCRs getting returned saying, hey, they don't work. And I just decided to sell it untested as is for parts and repair. And I still got a pretty good price, as you can see. I sold the Masters of the Universe Blade figure for full asking price again. I sold this Kurt Adler Superman Nutcracker. Kurt Adler's another brand. Look it up if you see it, because some of his stuff is amazingly expensive. I sold a Hard Daddy Hawaiian shirt. I don't know anything about the Hard Daddy brand, but I know that Hawaiian shirts, especially with good patterns, they sell pretty well. So I picked it up, I think, for $1, and it sold. 8 Mile on VHS. I don't normally pick up VHS anymore, but I mean, if it's 25 cents or less and it's something I know is going to sell, or I think it's going to sell, I'll look them up if they're cheap, because obviously, I mean, 25 cents into what I got there, that's pretty good. Same with DVDs. If it's something that looks interesting, I'll look it up. Kind of like I did with this Girls, Guns, and G-Strings movie set. That sold, I think, within a week and a half of listings. So, I mean, like I said, media sells. You just got to look it up. And I always look up weird stuff because weird sells. And then last but not least, we did sell the silverware. I had a lot of people tell me that I was crazy for picking this up, but I knew it was vintage and it was brand new in box. I had found a comp for it, and it sold on offer of $100, and I took it. I mean, I think I paid $7 for the set, and I got $100 out of it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So between eBay and DibDit, we did $457.80 in sales. That's after fees and shipping. Once I take out my taxes and my seed money, that left me with $257.50 in my pocket for the week. So again, that's like a part-time minimum wage job paycheck. But hey, that's $57 more than it was last week. Like I said, I feel like it's just going to keep going up the harder I work and the more I do. And if I keep adding in DibDit shows, that helps a lot too. Thinking about maybe kicking around the idea of doing some Whatnot shows. I love DibDit. I love the community. I love the people there. But honestly, most of the people there are resellers, and they're looking for inventory, and they're not willing to pay a whole lot. Unless you have something really different, like the Rolling Stones magazines that I had, you're not going to get a whole lot of money on DibDit. I didn't get a whole lot of money, honestly, out of the magazines. I got, on average, $1 a magazine. I had a few that sold a little better. Like I had the issue for Tupac the month after he died. That one sold for, I think, 15. On the eBay, it's like $40 or $50 magazine. But hey, I'm $15 and it's out my door. I had another one that was Marilyn Manson that usually sells for about 40 or 50. It sold for 10. So like I said, you're getting about 25 to 30, if you're lucky, 50% of eBay price when you're selling on DibDit. And I think that other than clothing, I might keep, because I can source clothes really cheap and then flip them fast on DibDit to other resellers that want to go through the hassle of listing them on eBay. So I might keep doing clothes on DibDit, but when I get like magazines or comic books or something like that, I might actually try to go back to Whatnot. It just depends. I mean, right now I don't have enough inventory to try to build a following on Whatnot. But once summer hits and the garage sales are going, I'll have a lot more opportunity to source. So I don't know. I'm kicking it around. It's an idea. Like I said, I love DibDit, but Whatnot might be a better actual revenue source. I'm going to keep doing shows on DibDit right now like I said, I got stuff I just don't want to list on eBay that, if somebody else wants to go through the time and the effort of listing for $5 to $6, they get it from me for $1. I bought it for 25 cents. I make a little money, they make a little money. It's a win-win for everybody at that point, but I don't know. I got to think about it. Other than that, this week I went thrifting 3 days. I went Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Though that video will be out on Wednesday of what I found. I found some really good stuff yesterday. I ain't gonna lie, I was just super excited about that. But you'll have to wait for that video to see it. I was excited. You probably won't be. You'll be like, why the hell did you pick that up? But, $5 into $500 hopefully on one item. I am going to run 2 DibDit shows this week on probably Tuesday and Thursday. Again, I'm going to do a clothing show Tuesday and Thursday. I decided to do, part of the reason I did 2 magazine shows last week was because I had buyers in my first show that wanted to buy more, but my time, I had to get off stream. So I told them I would push my clothing show back and I would do another show on Thursday, and I ended up selling out. I think I had like 20 magazines left over that I just put on local Facebook Marketplace. Somebody came and picked them up for, I don't know, I think it was $1 or $2. I didn't care at that point. I just wanted them out, like I said. So I pushed my clothing show back till this coming Tuesday and Thursday. I'll run those shows, and then that way I can do combined shipping, which is the other reason I went ahead and did 2 last week of the same kind of item instead of splitting it. It just makes packing stuff up so much easier. So if you're interested in that, and you're watching this, I'll be on at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on DibDit, DibDit.com. Seller name Treasure Trolls. And I'll be selling clothes, t-shirts. I got some Rock Revival jeans, things like that. Like I said, things I just don't want to list on eBay. Like, some of it's been sitting in my storage for a while, and I'm over it. I just want to get it out and get good inventory that I enjoy and that I'm excited about. But yeah, so that's what happened this week. Thanks for hanging out with me for, 10 minutes now? These Sunday confessionals are probably not going to be very long, guys, until things pick up. It is February, so, not a lot going on. Sale-wise, might pick up a little bit once people get their tax return money back. They'll be looking for, fun stuff to spend that on. So hopefully sales will pick up a little bit here in the next couple of weeks for that. But yeah, like I said, upward trend, upward climb. We're doing good. I talk about how the channel's doing. First 2 videos I put out, I got about almost 30 views on each one, and last week's videos, I think I got like 5 views on each video, which is cool. Hey, that's 5 people. Hey, if you're watching now and you watched last week, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, it encourages me to keep going because at least somebody's watching. All right, guys. I'm going to end it here because it is 12:30, like half hour after midnight kind of time. And I still got to edit this so that it'll be uploaded at 9 in the morning. I kind of pushed back doing the video because I wanted to hopefully get a couple more sales for you. But, it is what it is. So, all right. We'll see you next time, guys. And like I said, check out the video on Wednesday to see what I found this week. And have a good one.